Yo, YouTube world, check it out. I'm gonna do a quick little video on this whole Nolan Wells situation. This is like sort of like a part two, um, to the whole Nolan Wells saga. I'm gonna say this: what I'm hearing, really refuse. Basically, the police they refuse to do an investigation about it. To do a real thorough investigation about it. At the end of the day, I'm not surprised at all, especially in a lot of these, especially places like down south, particularly, them good old boy towns. Not saying they probably don't have some up here in the east coast up here, north, but a lot of those places down south known to have that type of that good old boy mentality, and it's nothing, it won't surprise me if all the officials and everybody that's out there is kind of like covering up this whole investigation. I feel like a lot of times this is just a typical thing of the justice system. They do this type of stuff all the time. Seen so many cases of things like this happening, and people either refuse to really get down to the bottom of it and investigate it, which is usually the police, stuff like that, and basically B, they just sweep things up under the rug, which is typical of a lot of the justice system. It just goes to show, like I always say, justice system, whole judicial system, say they pick and choose who they want to hang. They pick and choose basically what cases that they feel like is important to them, especially in those type of places, Mississippi and those kind of places where, even in the prison system, there's still like chain gangs and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother topic for another time. It just goes to show this is nothing new. This is America. This is what's been going on for a long time. Hopefully some justice gets served. Rest in peace to that kid Nolan Wells, young man. And my condolences again to his family. Hopefully somebody sees this and, they appreciate this upload right here. It's just one of those situations where, for the most part, it's just typical of the justice system. They constantly let people down all the time. And particularly when it comes down to us, black folks and stuff, we, when it comes down to anything that happens to us, it's pretty much a lot of times swept under the rug. And it's just sad. It just goes to show that, this is just something that, the justice system, it has to change. A lot of the, it has to be more equality. I feel like there's always a bias, and of course, race always has race always will play a part. And I feel like in every fabric of America, just the world period, but particularly in America, it's always going to play a big role in a lot of things. And unfortunately, this is one of them. Once again, the judicial system. If I'm correct, a lot of those officials and stuff, like the police, they refuse to basically, I think one of them basically refused to do anything, do a real good investigation about it, and that's sad. But I guarantee if the shoe was on the other foot and something happened to one of their people, it'll be a whole different ball game, which is usually a lot of times it always is, because like I say, race is always play a factor in every fabric of life, especially in the United States. I mean, the world period, but particularly in the States, it's a lot more heavily emphasized. Much people don't want to talk about it. This plays out not, in the judicial system. This plays out even at when it comes out to typical corporate America. This plays out in so many different ways, and it's just sad to go to show that ain't nothing really changed. It's just a different era. Um, these things, these type of cases and stuff, is nothing new. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of level of corruption where everybody is covering up. Doesn't help. Like I said, what I said in my last video, check it out. That I find kind of odd that these kids that I was with them, so-called friends, they lawyered up so quick, and it makes you really, really raise your eyebrow on, on what's really, if these kids know something about it, they have something to do with it, which I won't be surprised if it's a possibility they really do, because, and at the end of the day, when it comes out to black folks, nobody really gives, nobody really cares. Nobody gives a shit about our issues like that. Very rarely, but for the most part, we don't really have any real allies. This is something right now, like I said in my last video, this is a time where I think all black people should start gripping up, really start fighting against this thing, really start speaking up more about this, really start getting in tune for what's going on. Because at the end of the day, like I always said, it's a bigger battle out there that we all gotta face as people in general, but particularly black people. There's a big battle we gotta face, and and it's time for people to really start to really listen and be wise to what's going on. And what I don't understand too is that, other cases where stuff like this has happened, and it's an all-out massive search. I remember there was cases, trying to remember, and I'm just using an example. There's so many cases, seen it time and time again, where, it could be a little white girl, whatever, missing, and they go all out, they investigate, they basically do their due diligence to try to find them. It just seems kind of just total hypocrisy in just the whole judicial system. And this just goes to show that it's just nothing new. Until we really start speaking up more about this, we really need to start really, really pushing for change. The YNs, they need to really learn how to stand down, fight over something like this, instead of fighting about all this nonsense that really don't matter. I think people right now really gotta just put everything to the side right now that's of negativity, and really try to start voicing about this to make some kind of positivity. Until we all start really speaking up about this, it's gonna be the same thing. The same type of cases will go on, the same level of corruption will go on in a lot of these places, especially with the judicial system, where the judge is good, basically good friends with the I guess one of the friends of Nolan Wells, and stuff of that nature. And right then and there, that's not really a good look in my opinion, because it's always going to be a level of corruption. And I won't be surprised if this is what's going down. They're trying to basically cover up everything that actually went on, and seeing that those kind of places, especially where they was at, some kind of island or whatever for a trip, a resort, vacation. It seems kind of odd that I feel like the friends would even pick a place like that. Now, like I said in my last video, they're so-called true friends. Why didn't somebody go with him? Why didn't somebody at least try to, like, stay with him? Especially if this is a place that nobody knows of, never been there. Like I said in my last video, I just find the whole case kind of odd. I find a lot of stuff, it sounds kind of fishy. And this case is gonna be something else, man. So all we could really do is keep voicing up about this whole thing. Voice up about this whole situation, and basically just do what we gotta do to basically try to get justice for this kid as well, or should I say young man, as well as all the other cases that has gone, underneath the ground, basically swept up for cases like this, because this is getting ridiculous at the end of the day. And this so-called freedom and justice for all and all of that, I think it's a bunch of crock. I think it's a bunch of BS. And this is what this case is proving with all this nonsense. But you have to see what happens. So hopefully that family gets justice. They get, everything, even though they may not be able to bring him back. And this goes to show also, like I said in my last video, you gotta watch your so-called friends. And me personally, I'm leery of being in a crowd with a whole bunch of people that don't look like me. That's just me. Especially knowing that the level of history of how this country is history always repeats itself. We don't learn from it, as always. And this is what we're seeing. I feel like it's always better to be in a place, Of course you're gonna have white people. Of course we're gonna have Spanish. It's better to just live in a place where it's more diverse. Put it like that. Than to be around just because you have this is just me personally, but just because you have a crowd of being around all white friends, and you may be in a higher status, your parents, your family might have money and stuff of that nature. That doesn't exclude you from this skin color here, and doesn't exclude you from all the hate that comes with having this type of skin color. So at the end of the day, a lot of those, hopefully more people will definitely share this video. And if you happen to be in that type of circle where a majority of your friends is white, or basically you don't have, basically you're the only one in that crowd, it's better off to get on out. It's better off to be at least aware, because at the end of the day, not everybody has your best interest. I don't care what friends they are, you gotta be aware of your friends. You have to basically be aware of your environment, your circle, and just be careful and move accordingly, and always understand that at the end of the day, with this black skin, with this color, this melanin, should I say, it's always gonna be something that comes with it, unfortunately, due to the history of this country, due to the programming, the systematic programming, which I feel, has still got a lot of people's minds mentally enslaved due to ignorance. But that's a whole nother topic for another time. But it just is what it is. So that's just a little gem I had to throw out there for all my black peoples out there, particular, especially those happen to be in higher status, that basically all their friends is either white or just don't look like them. It could be Asian, Spanish. Basically every one of their friends are pretty much every other nationality except for black. So, this is just a cautionary tale right here. We'll see what happens with this whole case. But like, subscribe, share 82 Brooklyn 7 on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share 82 Brooklyn 7 on YouTube. Check out all my full videos. New, old, short clips, old, new, my older lives. I'm gonna try to do another one when I get a chance, a brand new one. Got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. And then I note, just check out all my videos, help share them, hype it up, get this video out there as well as some of my other videos to help give the channel, get the channel into the algorithm a lot more. They've been trying to suppress these numbers, but definitely help me get up there. And I know I'm Audi 5. Peace.